Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel, or hey if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Today's video is going to be my Q1 wrap up. So my Q1 reading wrap up. I feel like these videos are really fun to kind of track your progress and your reading updates throughout the year, because a lot can actually change from Q1 to Q4. Like, a lot could change, and I kind of want to see, like, throughout the year how my reading tastes change, or how my favourite books change, or what authors I pick up in the other months. I feel like it'd be really cool to reflect back on. Let me know some of the stats from your Q1 wrap up. I would love to know in the comments. And yeah, I'm just going to answer some questions about kind of what I've been reading, disappointments, some favourite books. We're going to get into the stats, and yeah, I'm very interested to see if this changes by the end of the year. It might do, it might not. Who knows? I might be reading the exact same things. I might be reading the exact same authors. Who knows? But it's fun to track. So without further ado, let's get into today's video and talk about my Q1 wrap up. I have been using Fable to track all of my stats and things like that. I've actually not used Goodreads at all this year. I just have decided to go with Fable, and I've stuck with it and I'm enjoying it so far. So all my stats are on Fable and it's working for me. I actually prefer it to Goodreads. So question number one, how many books have I read so far this year? How many books have I read in Q1? I have read 33 and my reading goal is 50. So far I feel like I'm making really good progress with my reading goal. I did kind of get off to a speedy start in January and February, and then I have kind of slowed down since then because it is assignment season right now for uni and I do not have the time to be reading loads of books. But I will tell you how many books I have read in each month. So in January I read 12 books, in February I read 11 books, and in March I read 7 books. So I feel like we did get a little bit of a decline, and I feel like Q2, the start of Q2 is going to be sort of more slow while I get these assignments done. However, I got off to a very speedy start and I feel like I'm really well underway with my reading goal. I don't really like to set too high of a reading goal because I just think I don't want to set myself up for failure. Alright, I'm trying to actually achieve the goal this year, so that's why we've got 50. Which, by the way, 50 books is still a lot. I'm not saying that it's not a lot of books. I just read 100 last year, so I feel like I could set it higher, but I'm not going to, just in case. I don't want to set myself up for failure. The next question is, what is my most read genre for the past 3 months? And the answer to that is, I feel like it comes as no surprise if you watch my reading vlogs and you watch my videos in general. My most read genre is romance. It's of course romance. I feel like that is just the genre that I reach for the most. I really am trying to reach out into the fantasy genre at the moment, and I really have been trying. I've definitely picked up a lot more fantasies than I have been the previous years, so maybe in the next months it will be fantasy that is my most read genre. And the next question was, what is the genre you want to read more of? Obviously fantasy. I'm on a bit of a fantasy kick right now. I read 2 5-star fantasies, and after reading those I was just hooked. I love it. I loved it. I really went on like a fantasy kick, and then kind of slowed down with that at the moment because I've had books to read for other videos and things like that. But hopefully I will definitely get around to reading more fantasy. Another genre I would really like to read more of is literary fiction. I am someone who loves literary fiction and I don't reach for it enough, and I feel like I have hardly any literary fiction on my TBR, so I definitely need to get some recs, some fun recs that I can read more of. And kind of in the same breath as that, I really want to read more, not really in the same breath, I just want to read more historical fiction. So if you have any good historical fiction recs, maybe kind of more set in like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, then please let me know, because I am so interested in history and I love books set in that time frame. So I would love to get to more of those type of books. My most read authors have been, in first place, Elsie Silver. I've read 3 books from Elsie Silver. Is that really a surprise? She's one of my favourite authors. I tend to read a lot of her books. Then we have Ali Hazelwood. I have read 2 of her books. Then we have Rebecca Yarros. I read 2 of her books. And we have Stephanie Archer. I've read 2 of her books. My average rating for Q1 is 3.9 stars, which I feel like sounds about right. I feel like this year I've had majority books leaning more in like the 3.75 area, so I feel like that makes sense. Okay, now on to the juicy questions. We've got my top 5 reads of the year so far, and I feel like this is such a fun question, so I'm gonna go grab my top 5 reads and then I will share. Okay, I feel like this is accurate. I'm not too sure if I have pulled all of the right books, but we're going to go with this little stack of my 5 for Q1. So we'll start off with Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. This one for me was such a fun time. It was giggly, it was silly, it was cute. I was literally kicking my feet. I was like, oh my god, so cute. I was like, having a cuteness overload. I feel like this is such a good book to read if you are someone that likes the perfect combination of spice and cute romantic vibes. It had half and half. It was like everything. I rated this a 4.75 stars, and I have heard that book number 2 is incredible, and if you love book number 1 you're going to like infinity star rate book number 2, so hopefully I will love it. But this one was so fun. It's about a hockey player and he needs an assistant, and he hires someone and she ends up being a live-in assistant, and that person ends up being his sort of high school crush, and she arrives and he's freaking out. He's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And it turns out she also had a crush on him in high school, but they just never knew. They never crossed paths. They was in different friendship circles, and it's just really cute seeing them discover their feelings for each other. And I loved Stephanie Archer's writing style in this series. It's the Vancouver Storm series. Oh. Next up I have Addicted for Now by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This one was 5 stars for me. I was hooked. I didn't want to put it down. This for me was one of them books where when you're not reading it, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about the characters, and I was like, oh, I just want to be reading my book right now. And it was just such a good experience. I think book 1 and 2 for me were like good and I liked them, but this book solidified that I love these characters. I love this series. I'm well and truly in and attached to these characters. I think if you did read book 1 and 2 and you wasn't like a huge fan, or you wasn't really feeling it that much, give this one a go, because I feel like it's thicker. You really get more character content, and you just learn about the characters more. And I was like, I love them, I love them, I love them. I love Lily and Lo. They are quite literally my favourite couple. I love them. I think that they've overcome so many challenges, and we're really seeing their character development, especially in this book. I have started reading Kiss the Sky now, and seeing Lily and Lo in Kiss the Sky gives me life. Like seeing their cameos together, they love each other so much, and I just loved this book. Then I have Reckless by Lauren Roberts. This one for me was a 5-star again. I've tabbed it. I went in with low expectations because everyone kind of had mixed opinions on it, and I was just floored. I was like, wow, 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 wow. Could not put it down. Kai and Payden are just like incredible. Their chemistry off the charts. The way that Lauren Roberts has written some of the scenes and some of the quotes was just like mind-blowing to me. I loved it so much, and I cannot wait to read Fearless, which is actually out now, so I need to run and go get that. Then I have From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This one is more of a recent read towards the end of March, and moment of silence. This was so good. If you have not picked up the From Blood and Ash series, this is your sign, because I put it off for so long because I was so nervous to start it, and then this just kind of sealed the deal for me. I was like, I need to read the rest of the series immediately. I'm definitely going to prioritise this series. It's just incredible. It had such a good romance in it, and the world building, the political intrigue, we're finding things out as we go along. It was super interesting. I loved it, and I'm definitely going to read it alongside Flesh and Fire, the prequel series. And the last book on this list is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This one was another one that I put off for so long because I was so intimidated by it. I was so scared to read it, and why did I put it off for so long? Because it was so good. It was so good. I literally fell in love with the characters, fell in love with the world building. It's like nothing I've ever read before. It's so unique. The world building is so incredibly unique. The magic system is unique, the dragons are unique, everything was unique. And it was just so good. I mean, the way that this man loves the main female character is incredible. Like, he will go to the ends of the earth for her, and I just thought that it was so good. And Sarah A. Parker can take as long as she wants to get book 2 out, because I want it to be as good as book 1, and I feel like it's not something that can be rushed because the world building is so intricately done. So that is my top 5. Okay, now we've got worst reads of the year, and I am someone who immediately gets rid of a book that I didn't like. I donate it, or, you know, give it to someone who does want to read it that I know of, but I just don't really ever like them to be sat on my shelf if I didn't enjoy them. So I would say the worst reads of the year for me, I've not really had too many, but definitely one of them was A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting. I am someone who loves Regency era, I love Bridgerton, anything like that. Sign me up for. And I kind of went into it with, I think, the wrong idea. I'd kind of been led to believe it was like a fun Regency romance, and it's definitely not. It had zero romance. The romance was so rushed towards the end. It literally was wrapped up within like 5 pages when we've seen no chemistry build up between the characters. I felt like there was little plot. It was very slow, and it just wasn't for me. If it was for you, that is completely fine. I've heard amazing things about book 2, which I do own, so I probably will get to at some point, but just this one for me did not do it, and it was definitely probably the worst book I've read so far this year. But I think that's just because I went in with the wrong expectations. Now I've got biggest surprise reads, the one that surprised me the most. Okay, let me have a think. The book that surprised me the most was Foxglove by Adeline Grace, because I enjoyed Belladonna, don't get me wrong. I did rate it like a 3-star. I found it a little bit slow, and I wasn't too sure if I wanted to continue the series if it wasn't for the ending, because it did kind of end on a bit of a cliffhanger. And I was just kind of like, you know what, it was good. Was it my favourite? Absolutely not. Am I like in a rush to pick up Foxglove? No. But then I think I chose it in a TBR video, or it was a video I read of finishing series I'm in the middle of, I think, and I picked this one up, and I was very pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed this way more than I thought I was going to. I thought that it was fun. I thought that the plot was plotting. It was a lot more entertaining and fast-paced than the first one, and I learned to really like the characters and really enjoy the characters, and yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised by this. Biggest disappointment. Please don't be mad at me for this one, but we have Wild Side by Elsie Silver. This one for me just disappointed me because I love Elsie Silver and I love her writing, I love her series. Chestnut Springs honestly was one of the series that got me back into reading, and I do enjoy the Rose Hill series. What's the first one? Wild Love was a 4-star, no, that's a lie. It was a 3.75 star for me. Wild Eyes was a 5-star for me, and then I kind of went into this one with like not knowing what to expect, but I thought I'll probably enjoy it because I saw glimpses of this couple throughout book 1 and 2, and I kind of enjoyed them a little bit, and I kind of thought, you know what, it might be middle ground, but who knows, it might be a good one. I was disappointed because I feel like this one for me just didn't do it. It was a 3-star, it just didn't hit that Elsie Silver spot. Like, it didn't scratch that itch that I get from her books. It felt a bit disconnected to her usual writing style, and I feel like we really focused on the main guy and his wrestling way more than the romance, way more than the female main character, who was very interesting and had a lot of things going on in her life. I feel like we just completely skipped past that, and we was just really focusing on the guy towards the end, and I don't feel like we have the best found family setup within this series. I don't really feel like we have that much of a fleshed out cast, and it disappointed me. I think I went in with the wrong expectations anyway. I kind of went in thinking it was going to be more like small town focused and, you know, that kind of thing. and he was a wrestler, and I just feel like we got off on the wrong foot, but I do feel like the characters didn't feel too fleshed out and their romance felt a little bit rushed. Okay, now I've got some kind of like goal questions. So I've got, what is one book that I aim to read in the next quarter? And that book is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas. It is about time I picked this series back up. I think I read Air of Fire back in, was it this year? I think it was this year. It might have been last year. It can't have been. Maybe it was like January, February. I'm honestly not too sure, but it's definitely about time I got back into this series because I love it so much. But I've been taking massive breaks in between each book, so I don't want it to be over, and I know that the next few books are really gonna stick with me, and I'm kind of scared to get into them, so I have been putting it off. It is a little bit of a chunky one as well, and I want to make sure that I've got the time dedicated to be able to sit and read this without having loads of other stuff on. I really want to immerse myself into the book, and that's why I've kind of been putting it off as well, for a time when I'm a bit more free and I'm a bit less busy. So yeah, but I really do want to get to this within the next quarter. And the last question is a new author I would like to try in the next quarter, and that is none other than Sabaa Tahir with An Ember in the Ashes. I got this for my birthday. I've seen incredible reviews on this series, and I would just love to try out her writing style. It seems like such an interesting premise, and again, I'm trying to get into fantasy, so she's a new fantasy author that I have not tried yet, and I would love to read a book from her. I love the cover, I love the premise, and I've just heard great things about her writing style, so hopefully I will get to this in the next quarter. And that is all the updates I have for my quarter one update. I just find it really interesting to keep track of things like this. Let me know your stats in the comments. I'd love to know. I find it so interesting. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. It was quite a quick one, but interested nonetheless. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you so much for staying to the end of this video. I appreciate your support so much, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.